Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Hello. Can you believe it? It's time for Taroscopes. Again, I can barely believe it. Time really does fly. Today, we're going to do the Taroscopes for the sign of Pisces for the month of February 2022. First, we'll look at the astrology, see what's going on in the heavens. It is not a particularly it's not a particularly big month when it comes to like big things happening astrologically, but there are a lot of big things happening in February, including the Pluto return of the United States. So, or the first pass of the Pluto return of the U.S., which happens on the 20th. So let's take a look. Excuse me a moment. We're going to look at the charts for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. And of course, Pisces is the sign of the fish. It is a mutable water sign. It is known for its imagination, its compassion, its your inability to pin them down to anything. Pisces, as the last sign of the zodiac, has the capacity to like be any of the signs of the zodiac. So Pisces often make great actresses and actors because they can take on the persona of any of the other archetypes that we find within the zodiac. All right, so let's take a look. We start the month off with a new moon. That new moon in Aquarius is conjunct Saturn. A couple of days later, Saturn makes the exact conjunction to the sun, but Saturn is pretty powerful at the beginning of the month. And we have to remember that Saturn is still square to Uranus, which was the big aspect of 2021, is what made 2021 so unstable and erratic and started off with a big sort of bang, so to speak. Okay. So we start with this new moon. New moons are natural times of beginnings, new beginnings. And for Pisces, that new beginning occurs in your 12th house. 12th house is your house of, well, it's the Pisces house. It's the house of the veil. It's the house of large institutions. It's kind of a hidden place. All of the water houses, whether it's the 12th, the 8th, or the 4th, there's always a lot of mystery to them and a lot of feeling. The feeling of Pisces, the feeling of that 12th house is just, it's so collective that it almost is, it sort of it's really mass consciousness. It's really mass consciousness. And so there is this ability for you Pisces to get a bead on what is being planted at this time. It's like a premonition, something. So you may get some premonitions about what this new moon in your 12th house may mean, because the 12th house is such a hidden place. We don't even actually always know what's going on in there. Even as a Pisces, you may not know what's going on in there. So it's not that easy of a place to discern. Yet, if you feel into it, you'll know. So it's more of a knowing than an actual discernment, I think, with that. We have Mercury make a conjunction to Pluto. This will be the third of 3. We had the first one at the end of December 21. We had one towards the end of January 22, and then we have this one on the 11th of February, right, 2022. This is a deep, penetrating, a deeply sort of penetrating journey. It's like Hades, like going down to hell. Our mind going into those deep places that can be somewhat scary. Our deepest fears, perhaps, we've connected to. And they sit in your 11th house of groups. And so you also have an intuition about some of these groups, some of these you know, it's kind of funny because I would say this is a highly intuitive month for Pisces, but you guys are so highly intuitive anyway. So there is like an increase. There's like an increase in things. So a lot of the things that you're think that are going to happen, or that you're getting premonitions about, not necessarily the negative thinking stuff, woe is me, oh, it's never, but like, if you can get past any of that sort of martyr stuff that Pisces can sometimes have, and really sort of you know be willing to be your shine your light, shine your light. um I think that this is going to be an opportunity to do that, because you have such a depth of understanding of other people and really their motivations. And ultimately, Pisces is about healing and letting go and forgiveness. So, Scorpio is all about figuring out people's motivations. But when you get to Pisces, it's like, well, a lot of people's motivations come from a wounded place. And so now it's time to, forgive and move into the forgetting, right? Never forget. No, maybe we need to forget. Why do we have to keep remembering the bad stuff? Let's just be in the present moment and feel the good stuff. And so I think that this is an opportunity, Pisces. This is very Pisces. I'm saying these things that are very Pisces to Pisces. So you guys know how to do this. And I feel as though, so far anyway, things are lined up so that um, it's a benefit at this time. It's a benefit at this time. We do have a full moon in Leo with the sun in Aquarius. That occurs at the very, very end. So like 28 degrees, Aquarius, Leo. And so it's just before things start to move on. So there's this culmination around issues of love. There's this culmination around friendship. There's this culmination around I think what I want to say is that karmic ties and connections and reasons why certain people are in your life is going to come to fruition. It's going to come to light, not fruition. Well, fruition, yeah, light. It's going to come to light. You're going to see things that you hadn't seen before. And it's going to help you in the healing process. It's going to help you in the process of letting go to a certain extent. It's good. But you're going to maybe see things, and then you're going to make different decisions on how you want to relate to people and how you want to relate to your friends. We have a conjunction between Venus and Mars on the same day as that full moon, which is the 16th. And that conjunction, it's funny because they kind of move together, like they conjoin. Usually they conjoin and then they sort of go, then one runs ahead of the other one. But there's this, because Venus is moving so slowly, they actually are moving kind of together. And so after this conjunction, it's like, this is how I would say it. Like, you see that person that you're like super attracted to. Hold on. I have to stop moving around it's the lighting in here. It makes it hard for this camera. So anyway, it's probably best I don't use that example. Sorry. Oh, goodness gracious, that would get me in trouble. So it's like Venus and Mars meet up. It's like a business meeting. It's in Capricorn, right? They're like, hey, what do you want to, how do you want to do this? What do you want to do? Let's do this. Let's agree to do this. And so there really is this, this coming together of the minds, which can be very, I think, very good. You can actually make some new friends now, and work friends, people that you want to work with, people that maybe you want to work to make the world a better place with. That is the type of person, I think. So I feel like there'll be a period of time when maybe current relationships are shown for what they are, and maybe they dissipate, or they drift away, and then the new relationship coming in, perhaps one that's based on values and reconsidered values, because Venus, before she comes to this conjunction with Mars, has spent quite 42 days being retrograde. So she knows what she wants. Like Venus generally knows what she wants, but Venus retrograde in Capricorn knows what she wants. She knows what she expects. She knows where you're going to have to pull your weight. She knows all of that. And so you know that as well. And you know that when it comes to groups that you're going to be involved with. So you want to be involved with people who are going to pull their weight. And the opportunity to have that is there. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's see what else I want to mention here. Venus and Mars do make sextiles to Neptune, your ruling planet. And so there's this sort of doubling down or tripling down on this energy of compassion in action, Mars, and compassion in what we value and what's important to us. The importance of compassion, perhaps, with Venus there. So it's really quite a powerful month for you, Pisces, not only because the sun goes into Pisces on the 18th, so half the month really, you have the sun in your sun sign and moving through that first house, which just makes you more Pisces. So even the sun, it's like the sun over the silvery waters of the ocean. It's beautiful and sparkly and vast and very, very vast. So there's a lot of depth there, Pisces, and you get to use it all if you want. And you really can make a huge difference in the coming months, really, in the coming years ahead. So, all right, let's do a reading. So I'm going to use the Thoth Deck. I love you, Pisces. I am a Pisces Moon. So don't think I'm picking on you, Pisces, because I am not. All right, let's see if we can shuffle these up. I've had these cards for years, but they're a little bent. I don't know. I've had them for years. I must have had them in something that was a little, maybe not the right size. So let me just get a drink of water here. So important when you're reading the Pisces is to have enough water. Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising. I really should have shuffled these before I got on. It's just that they're so one way. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, I think I can do it now. You know what? I'm going to do it the other way. I'm just going to keep my eyes closed so I can't see what cards they are. These should go pretty easily. There we go. So the key to this is to shuffle them backwards, like where you can see the faces on the cards, which is not the way you shuffle cards. But in this case, the way these cards are bent. So that's a very Pisces thing to do, don't you think? Pisces is all about doing it in the opposite direction that everybody else does. You know, it's interesting because 30 years as a chiropractor, although we don't prescribe medication, you do take, you take a person's, their history, right? Their history. You have to know their history. Even if you're not going to medicate them, you have to know what kind of medicines they've been on, if they've had reactions, this, that, and the other thing. What are they on now? And lifestyle stuff. But I always noticed that Pisces would always like have reactions to medications, like whatever Pisces was supposed to, whatever the medicine was supposed to do for the Pisces, it did opposite. So if you're a Pisces out there, you have to be, well, you might know this already. I mean, I probably don't have to tell you, but you have to be very careful with kinds of medicines and stuff. It doesn't always work on you the way it does on other people. And that's just from 30 years of, clinical experience. I don't know if it's written anywhere or whatever, but in my estimation, and also prone to migraines a lot of times. And that has to do with your sensitivity and learning how to manage your sensitivities. You do have to take steps when you're a Pisces to kind of keep yourself together, because it's hard to stay together when you're a Pisces. Okay, and so we have transformation. Speaking of, we start off with change. Now, Pisces isn't necessarily that averse to change. In fact, if anybody understands that everything changes, it's Pisces. Because it's had it's the 12th sign. It's had 11 tries on change. And Pisces is about going with the flow. And the flow is always change. So we have a change here. What's crossing it is the prince. Is this the princess? The Princess of Swords, the Page of Swords. Okay, I want to say that is all the voices out there. Okay, let me just see here. Okay, change. So you are going with the flow, right? It's your nature, it's your natural nature. Then you hear, people like saying things about the situations that you find yourself in, or even just the situations that are happening in the world that are like this, like it's the end of democracy, it's the end of the world, it's the end of rights, it's the end of it's like, but it's not really, because that everything changes, so all that talk about fear of the end is simply a change, and it starts a new beginning. That's what that's about. And that you've had a lot of experience when you come in as a Pisces. You've had a lot of experience with life and with humanity. And I'm talking about lifetimes, right? Not just, this life, but you might even this life, In the past, we have the Knight of Wands. This is the impetuous knight, a little impulsive, not in the same way as the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords sort of follows his mind into battle. And, depending on what you're thinking, depends on, what side of history you're on, or even, I think it's easier to make a mistake when you're coming from your mind than it is when you're coming from your heart, from that inspired place, right? So in the past, you had this like inspired want or need to go on a journey, to go on a spiritual journey. We have the Prince of Swords in the sky here. This is that's the King of Swords. And this is justice. This is the law. This is, there's an energy of this is the law, this is justice, right? Which is associated with this card. But it's also associated with the military, and it's associated with like police. So there's an energy above you that is very, and this could be Saturn. This could be the Saturn conjunct the new moon energy that you had in the chart. And for you, that would be going on in your 12th house, correct? So let me see what's in the immediate future. Success. Okay. All right. So this is what I want to say. Success is yours, but you do have to go by the rules. You do have to go by the law. You can't circumvent the law. Even like, even if it's not like big stuff, even the little stuff, you really have to make sure you go by the letter of the law with this stuff. That's what I want to say. So whatever you're starting, you want to make sure that you're doing it in such a way that it's not going to cause more problems. So you want to be informed before you move forward. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just take it on faith. How it's seen from the outside, strife. So challenges. There's a lot of strife around you in these cards, but again, I don't feel like it's touching you, which is odd. We have this, is this the 7? Sorry. This is 7 of Cups. In this deck, it's debauchery. This is addiction. There could be somebody in your home that's addicted to something. It could be you. Look to see. Are you addicted to all the negative news? Is that what you're addicted to? It could be that. Yeah. So you want to, again, with the letter of the law, don't drink and drive, don't smoke a bone and drive, don't do any of those things. That's the stuff that they're talking about here, I think. You really have to be, you have to go by the letter of the law, whatever, I don't even know what I'm saying to you, but that's what I keep getting. You have to go by the letter of the law. And if you do, you'll be okay. And if you try to circumvent it, then there'll be consequences that, can create problems, can create problems, but not necessarily. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have success. So you just don't have to have problems you don't want to have, right? And at the outcome, we have the Ace of Discs. So that's really good. That's a new start. That's a new project. We have love. That's lovely. That's the 3 of Cups. Oh, the 2 Cups. The Princess of Wands. This is a very sort of spiritually active messenger energy. And completion. The 4 of Wands. So something, a new phase, a new success comes up, and then you start something else. So this is how it looks like to me. Go by the rules, dot your I's, cross your T's, success is here, and then you can build further on that success. We have the Hierophant, which is listening to your inner self and pleasure and sorrow, and the Magician. So there will be times of pleasure, there will be times of sorrow, but if you know who you are and you listen to that inner self, to that inner voice, you can manifest what your soul is asking you to manifest. You have the power to create the life that you want. I mean, we all have that power. But maybe more than anyone, Pisces knows, but maybe Pisces, I'm not going to say doesn't care, but doesn't make it an all-encompassing thing for them. It's just part of the magic of life. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe. Thank you to all of my watchers who have been sending me little gifts. And these are some of them. Thank you so very much, Roxana. And thank you for the donations. Thank you for all your comments. It really does mean a lot to me. And if you're interested in getting a reading, you can check out my website, theseedsoftransformation.com. You can see what my offerings are. You can decide. And there's a calendar. You can pick a day. And I'm also doing classes if you're interested in that. I have a beginner's class, second part of my beginner's class that's happening now. I have an intermediate class where I'm going to be talking about transits and returns. That's starting on the 29th. It's a Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. class on Saturdays. I love teaching on Saturdays. I actually love working on Saturdays, but only half a day. Yeah, so that's what's going on. All right, so have yourself a great month, and I'll see you again in March. And take care of yourself, Pisces. We love you. Namaste.